GSL.
What's up from Seoul, Korea? Welcome to the GSL Code S. We're Tasteosis, and today is actually going to be a great day.
Oh, there are 4 fantastic players playing today. All 3 are aces represented.
Yes.
It's going to be fantastic.
Especially excited to see DRG here, our longtime Zerg badass here again today.
I would say especially
well
exciting to see MyuNgSiK here.
Yeah.
The Sky Protoss himself. Really interesting, different type of Protoss play coming out of the Sky. And then I'd also say it's especially interesting to have Maru here, the best Terran in the world.
Well, this is a treat. Terrans, as of late,
it's not quite as interesting that we have Paralyzed, though. He's just a very good
Well,
Protoss.
he's just solid.
Yeah.
He's going to make for good games no matter who he's against. If you watched last season, this year, you'd see that the Terrans weren't doing that well, except for Maru.
Yeah.
Maru played very well. And in this season, we don't have a lot of Terran representation. So to see Maru here now, I'm really curious to see how far exactly he's going to get.
Yeah. And if you take a look here, here are the players that have advanced so far. No Terrans, so we're really looking forward to having Maru hopefully get through this group.
My fingers crossed for him.
Yeah, and other than that, I mean, look at this lineup. You already have Sue and Life in there, who are 2 of the absolute best Zergs in the world, bar none. And then for Protoss, we know that Zest and Rain are probably the top 2 Protoss in the entire world right now.
Yeah.
And then Stork has been doing better and better lately. And, of course, Classic has been playing in Pro League a lot.
How far Stork is going to get in this tournament, because he's playing well, but Stork was somebody in Bird War who did not, right off the bat, have a lot of success. It took him a while. He had a lot of years of practice for him to solidify and cement.
Which is fine. That happens with players.
Exactly, and I'm really curious to see, in this tournament, is this going to be the moment where we're going to see him really shine, or is it going to be maybe a year or 2 before he starts to dominate? Come to our studio. We got all sorts of events. By the way, entry's free. We are at Samsung Station.
And you might even win some stuff, so that's pretty sick.
Yeah, and of course, if you come down here, normally I'm sure you guys watch the English cast. If you want to watch that here now in the studio, we got headsets. So just grab that at the front desk, and there's even a TV setup where you can see our ugly mugs. And
that's right.
And you can have the full GSL experience and meet the players as well.
Indeed. It's a great time. It's a family place as well. Bring your children and all that.
Yes.
Make them like StarCraft early on.
That's right.
So
we're going to go to the interview now and see what our 4 players are thinking going into these matches, you know, if they're going to perform, as well as they're hoping to, if they're nervous, anything they want to say to their fans, etc.
오랜만에 뵙는데요. 아무래도 테란이 적다 보니까 관심이 집중되고 있습니다. 이것 때문에 조금 부담스럽진 않으세요?
네, 부담이 되진 않아요.
아, 그렇군요. 이번 시즌 목표를 어떻게 설정하고 있는지 궁금한데요.
일단은 시드는
Don't you feel the pressure as one of the last Terrans?
시드요. 그렇다면 지금 32강에
Yeah, it feels just the same as before.
해야 할 텐데 오늘 조편성 마음에 드시나요?
네, 생각보다
Do you like your group?
아, 생각보다 괜찮으세요?
I think
그렇다면
it's actually better than last season.
지금부터 많은 팬들이 와서 응원해 주고 계시거든요. 팬들에게 한마디.
There are a lot of fans that support you here. Any words to them?
올라갈 테니까 열심히 응원해 주셨으면 감사하겠습니다.
I'm going to do my very best to advance here today.
네. 자, 조성주 선수를 상대하는 2번째 선수 만나봐야겠죠. 이 KT 로스터의 프로토스 라인을 책임지고 있는 든든한
Now up to Maru's opponent, MyuNgSiK from KT Roster.
KT 로스터의 김명식 선수 만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
Actually the youngest member.
네. 먼저 2번째
Although I would guess he's much older by looking at him.
조금 덜 긴장되는지 궁금하네요.
This is your second season in Code S. What are your thoughts?
이번에 조편성이 되게
Did you feel nervous at all?
많이 있어서 저번 시즌보다 더 긴장되는 것 같아요.
더 긴장이 되세요. 어떤 선수?
I get nervous because my opponents did so well last season.
뭐 처음 상대분인 조성주 선수.
Which opponents are you the most threatened by?
전체적으로 조에
Actually, Maru.
다른 세 분이 다 잘하시는.
Everyone knows he's great.
네, 긴장도 되고 이기고 싶다는 마음도 간절한 거.
Personally, I think every other player is better than me, but I really hope to win today.
자, 지금 이 KT 로스터의 든든한 막내인데 그렇다면 이렇게 어려운 경기를 앞두고 막내에게 좀 응원.
You've got a really tough match today, and you're the youngest in KT Roster. Your thoughts?
아직 32강이라 뭐 되게 큰 말은 없지만 그래도 이기고
It's
오라고
just the round of 32.
테란 16강에 올려보내지 말라고
A lot of my teammates said that I can do it
되게 힘
today,
많이 되고 도움됐어요.
and they're rooting for me.
자, 그렇다면 마지막으로 이번 두 번째 시즌 남다른 각오가 있을 것 같습니다. 각오 들려주시죠.
네, 저번 시즌 32강
It's your second season. Any words you want to say to your fans before the match
이번
starts?
시즌은 우선 8강 목표로 저번보다
I was eliminated from the round of 32 last time. I want to make it further this time
그
around.
모습 기대해 보겠습니다. 고맙습니다.
And I'm going to show you great matches today. Thank you.
자, 이제
Now we're going to go on to our next player here. Excuse me. By the way, I couldn't believe he was actually the youngest. I just looking at the guy. He looks.
Out of the Protoss lineup KT, I think.
Oh, is that what they said? The
I
Protoss
think so.
lineup on KT? I thought they meant the whole team.
SK텔레콤 정경두 선수 만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요. 네, 이쪽으로
Here is
와주시고요.
Paralyzed. He had a tough time getting here. He was a player with the wild card getting to Code S.
다릅니다. 정말 이유 있는 변화라는 생각이 드는데요. 이번 시즌 소감이 어떠세요?
일단
How do you feel about this season?
깔끔하게 4승으로 올라와서 되게 올라올 때
Well, I
좋았고요.
네.
feel really glad that I defeated all my opponents previously in Code A.
생각에 좀
And I'm here. I got first place.
네, 얼굴에서
I'm a little bit nervous today, though,
느껴지는데요.
but I'm also
우리의
confident.
코스겠죠. 어떤 점이 많이 바뀌었는지 궁금한데 좀 알려주세요.
그냥
What's the difference between last season and this season?
달라진 건 없는데 그냥 마음적으로
I don't really feel much difference between the two seasons.
연습을 좀
I
많이
think my attitude has altered a little bit,
많이 하셨다. 그런데 지금 휴가 기간이잖아요.
and I practiced a lot.
연습 어떻게 하셨어요?
일주일 휴가를 받았는데
I think your team got a vacation. Were you unable to practice?
3일 이제 일요일
I got a 1-week vacation.
레더 연습을
I actually just took off 3 days,
하셨어요.
and then after that I just went back to training.
몇명 있긴 했는데 연습실은 아무도 없어서 그냥 혼자 레더 했어요.
혼자 열심히 연습하면
Are there any teammates in your team house?
결과를 만들어야 할 텐데요. 마지막으로
He said just a few in the team house, but all I did was focus on playing on the ladder.
두 번째 시즌인데 저번에 너무 허무하게 탈락해서 좀 안타까웠는데
Any words to your fans?
오늘 자신도 있고 저번처럼 깔끔하게 4승으로 올라가는 모습 보여드릴
Personally, I was eliminated pretty early in the last season, so I want to move up and get deeper this
오늘
time.
나서는 선수들 모두 허무하게 절대 떨어질 수 없다 이렇게 말을 하고 있네요. 자, 이제 마지막 선수 만나봐야겠죠. 이 선수에겐 조금 더 큰 박수가 필요해 보입니다.
On to our final player now.
기록을 세웠는데요. 코드 S 12연속
He's made a huge record in GSL.
박수호 선수 만나보겠습니다.
12 consecutive times
네, 안녕하세요.
in Code S.
12연속 진출인데요.
DRG.
비결이 있나요?
12 times in a row.
끈질기게 살아남는 것밖에 없는 것 같아요.
What an incredible record you have. Any secrets to that?
살아남은 게 비결이다. 사실 그렇다면 혹시 박수호상 이런 걸 노리고 계신지
just play like I always play.
궁금한데 어떠세요? 이런 거 생각해 본 적 있으세요?
마음속으로 없다고 하면 거짓말인 것 같고요. 근데
네.
네, 막상 한
Are you expecting to get a DRG award when you if you get 20 consecutive times in Code S?
그런 걸 많이 생각해두고 있진 않아요.
네. 자, 오늘
I don't really think about that much.
아쉬움이 많이 남았었잖아요.
If there will be an award under my name, it would be really cool.
금방 떨어지고 말았는데 이번 시즌 조편성 어떠신지 궁금한데요.
Last season you were in the group of death, and you were eliminated pretty early, or at least earlier than we expected. How do you feel about today?
좋겠다 했는데 네, 중간쯤
Well, I didn't really like that I was in a group that was that hard early on.
저번이랑 별로 차이는 없는 것 같아요.
네, 그래도
I don't really feel much difference from this time and last time.
기대하고 있습니다. 마지막으로 팬들에게 한마디 해주시죠.
최근 기량이 네, 남들이 인정해줄 만큼 좋지는 않은 것 같아서
My condition's good.
오늘 배운다는 생각으로 열심히 게임해서 네, 올라갈 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
네, 알겠습니다. 오늘 활약 기대해 보겠습니다.
Today I think I'm going to learn a lot from these other players, and I'm going to do my best to make it to the round of 16. Thank you.
오늘 경기에 나서는
And thank you, Artosis, for being great.
오늘 오랜만에
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you said that. I was going to have to speak to you afterwards if you hadn't thanked me on air after that interview series. 12 GSL Code S's in a row by DRG. That's actually
Pretty good.
the second biggest record in all of GSL, next to you and I, who've
Yes.
done all of them.
We made it to
Eat
every
that,
finals,
DRG.
guys. So, our group today, it's going to be Group E. Maru against MyuNgSiK, Paralyzed against DRG.
It's a crazy group. I feel like a lot of this may come down to what kind of shape DRG is in for this group.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the layout of this group, it's so crazy because it's the best Terran in the world against the most unique Protoss player that there is, MyuNgSiK. This guy that goes like a lot of Sky Toss, uses a ton of Phoenixes, even Tempest early game. He's just so different. He's unbelievably hard to prepare for. And then you have Paralyzed, who's just like a solid Protoss that gets to train with Rain and parting all the time.
Also, you know, he kind of reminds me of just the embodiment of a ladder player. Like just solid builds, very good. It was even funny for him to say, "Yeah, I was practicing on the ladder before this match." So no matter who he's against here, in regard to Paralyzed, by the way, I think he's going to do great. Even if he's losing, he's going to produce some awesome games. And of course, DRG speaks for himself.
The thing that I'm a little bit nervous about, I don't know what MyuNgSiK's PvP is really going to look like. Thing is, he has Zest on his team, who's probably the best PvPer in the whole world, but then you have like second and third best PvPers on the team of Paralyzed. So if MyuNgSiK beats Maru, which I think is totally reasonable, definitely could happen because he likes Sky Toss play and Maru's too aggressive sometimes.
Yeah.
And then Paralyzed beats DRG, I could definitely see Paralyzed knocking out MyuNgSiK and throwing the whole group into this weird state of chaos. But as of right now, I'm kind of looking towards Maru and MyuNgSiK as players that can get out of here tasteless.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards Maru. I actually want to see Maru and DRG, but
that would be nice.
That's just
DRG is
being a fan.
A DRG.
Being a fan of
you
DRG.
Always have been.
Go DRG. I think Maru's pretty badass. It's really impressive to see how he's developed as a player since we were casting him when he was very young.
Yeah.
And you know, he was good back then, but he was a little sloppy with his aggression. And now he's just so refined and so good. And this is in an era where Korean Terrans are not doing well. They don't even get a lot of representation, really.
You know, I would say overall Terran's doing well in Pro League, but in GSL they just haven't been cutting it.
Yeah.
Only Maru's been really succeeding.
In individual leagues, yeah, they're floundering.
Yeah.
His opponent
except
over
for
here,
Maru, who's been doing very well still.
His opponent over here, MyuNgSiK. Solid, scary. You guys might not be as familiar with MyuNgSiK.
No. Great Protoss player, players. One of the most interesting to watch, in my opinion. It's got such a different way to play this game, and I think that everyone's going to be really, if you haven't seen him before and you haven't paid a lot of attention to him, you're going to be pleasantly surprised, I think, by the way he plays, whether he wins or loses. This guy, he's the one that invented the third base into 13 Phoenixes plus a few gateway units attack timing that was like so crazy last year.
Protoss is a race on a functional level, just has more options in the openings. And this guy plays totally different from everybody else, which makes it really exciting because this might be a whole new avenue that we can explore with the race.
Yeah. Like, for instance, you know, during his Code A group, he used that style that SOS used against Innovation with the quick Tempest to guard 3 bases that are in a triangle, and it was like such a cool and sick game.
I just love seeing play like that. But, you know, Maru, oftentimes, he's somebody who just wins with muscle a lot of the time.
He'll just punch his way right in.
Yeah, he just kind of – you'll even see it's a high chance this is what this will look like on this map, but it just a back and forth of Terran pushing, and then eventually there's more Terran units and more Terran units. The Protoss loses 1 or 2 key pillar units in his army, like the Colossus or something, or a few sentries, and it just snowballs.
He's always everywhere at once, microing better than anybody, and always doing like one more thing than you expect, right? Like you're like, well, a good Terran is attacking you and dropping there, but he's like doing both those, plus there's a Widow Mine walking up in your natural or something like that. He's just all over everything. Yeah, he's really a step above most other Terrans.
And I would say that he is the best Terran in Korea. I mean,
the only person
really, really good.
Innovation's very good. I think the only person you can truly argue against him right now is TY.
Yeah, TY is very good too. I would still probably lean towards Maru in this. It looks like, by the way, MyuNgSiK is having some problem, so we'll have a little bit of time to kill here. Apparently, it's a login error on the PC, so obviously we can get that fixed
probably
quickly.
Got caps lock pressed.
I forgot my password. But sit tight, guys. We'll get into this match soon.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I cannot wait to see how this one goes with Maru's like crazy aggression against someone who oftentimes goes for that more sky-oriented Protoss. Like, he goes for a lot of Phoenix Colossus. Sometimes he'll go just straight up Sky Toss against Terran. Well, it's not... You know, that's on very specific maps, I guess, but wouldn't be surprised if we see something like Oracle into Phoenix into Colossus.
In our next match, since we have a little bit of time to kill, who do you think is going to come out on there? Is it just DRG 2-1?
I think that this matters what type of shape DRG is in, what kind of games he's going to show. Because I think we're going to see very solid play. Yeah, that's the thing. Because like DRG in top form, I would just give the match to him, right? Like I'd give it to him 2-1 or 2-0. But the thing is, Paralyzed lives with Rain and Parting, and he gets to study them and ask them questions and practice with them. Presumably, it's so like if DRG is not in top form, Paralyzed can take him out. And you know the thing is, we don't get to see him play that much. You know, his team is overloaded with solid Protoss play, so you know, even now I think about it, even like Classic is on that team. It's like just that team is insane. SKT1 is going to have like 3 to 4 Protosses most likely in the round of 16, which is just SK is crazy. But same time, man, KT with MyuNgSiK, they have Zest, and he's so good.
And this is this kind of new age Protoss play too here. Our map's going to be Habitation Station.
Who do you think takes this out of these two?
I think Maru takes this.
I actually think MyuNgSiK takes it.
All right, let's do it. Habitation Station is our map for the first game. A Terran against Protoss. Maru against MyuNgSiK here for our first best of 3 in the GSL Code S Group E. In the upper right, one of the best Terrans in the entire world.
GNL Green Wings Maru, 조성주.
Excuse me. And here in the upper left, the Protoss you're going to learn a lot about here today.
MyuNgSiK, 김명식.
Both these players have, like, basically the best people that they could have to practice against. They have, like SOS, for instance, with Maru. That's about as close as you can get to MyuNgSiK. So, this is like a match made in heaven for an interesting TVP against between like the best Terran and a Protoss that we just have no idea how DP is going to get. This is I'm just
like
so
a
Protoss
we made in a lab or something, using different parts of pro gamers, and then
this is a Frankentoss, man.
It's a Frankentoss. Well said, Tosis.
Yeah.
A lot of people here for Terran support for Maru.
Well, if Maru doesn't get out of the group, that's going to be very sad. But you know, the way I see this group going, really, because I put quite a bit of thought into it. I think MyuNgSiK's going to take out Maru, then DRG's going to take out Paralyzed, then MyuNgSiK wins that, and then Maru comes out in second. Which is, like, if Maru doesn't get out of this group, we're going to be very sad, man. Well, we're not going for a 14 Protoss round of 16,
actually
but like
allowed that idea to get into my brain just yet, because it makes me sad to think about the idea that Maru could be knocked out, and that would mean that actually
no Terrans could possibly get through.
There's a very high chance that we'll be casting nothing but PVZs and mirror matchups in this GSL.
Would be sad. You know, overall the balance has definitely been getting a lot better. This is the thing is, Code S, because of how hard it is to get in and how unforgiving it is, it takes a long time. The current season never reflects the actual balance, because it takes like a long time to actually qualify through, get into Code S. The season has to finish. The next set of qualifiers have to go. But a bunch of Terrans, they lost last time before they got there, so now they're in Code B, and now they have to go through Code B to Code A to
It's a
Code
cycle,
S.
I mean, essentially certain races are going to get filtered out over periods of time, and then I think you're right. Even if it is fixed, there's not a lot that can be done, except to wait and allow to kind of fix itself via the process that we have here at the GSL, filtering them back into the system.
Because, like, even though we may in fact have no Terrans in the round of 16, but that's not actually accurate to what the balance of the game is. And I'm sure there's a lot of like really angry Terran players that just are not Korean pro gamer level that are very angry about what I just said, but I'm sorry, it's true. It's not accurate. So anyways, we'll see though. I think Maru's going to be able to get out of here. The guy is just so good.
So we got the robotics facility on the way here. Very quick expand for Maru. The Nexus, of course, also just finishing up now for MyuNgSiK.
And he's going into Robo and a Forge, so very standard play from him so far. May just decide to play regular games here. You know, if you look back at how he played in Code A, Maru's probably ready for something like that Tempest strategy he used here. So why use it here? Why not save that for later on, mix it in when someone's not going to be ready for it?
I did, by the way, love that Tempest strategy when I saw it.
It was beautiful. It was so cool and refreshing, and it was awesome. It's like a glass of ice water on a hot Protoss day.
Wow. Is that, that's how refreshing it was?
Yeah.
Might have been, you could do this coconut water. That's even more refreshing.
It's
That's
pretty
hydrating, yeah.
I like coconut water,
That's
actually.
quite good for you. We have the armor upgrade happening here. Nothing really special yet. There's also a chance that MyuNgSiK might not do anything out of the ordinary here.
Well, the one thing that's, I would say, a little bit different is he's going straight into an Immortal. And that's not the most common thing to see someone grab +1 armor and grab an Immortal right away. But the thing is, Maru is like the father of Marauder Widowmine style play. And he really prefers it in this matchup currently.
You know what? This could be, yeah, you're right, a strat that's simply tailored to the way his opponent's been playing.
Yeah.
When you think about it, there's been a lot of games of Maru out there to study.
There is certainly
MyuNgSiK could be pulling from. All right, so the scan there, and that does.
He sees the Immortal with it.
Oh, yeah,
he
for
moved
just a
it
second.
after
For just a second, yeah.
So that's definitely important that he saw that. Now, this could just be some sort of Immortal push, but the thing is, if you're going to do a quick Immortal push... Oh, he's going to go for Immortal drops.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. Oh, my God. This is so cool.
Let's see. You know, let's say that Maru was going to just go for heavy Marauders early on. This would be really strong against it. Let's see how it does against the Marines, because when the Warp Prism's done and over there, the stim will be finished. I wonder...
But catching a Warp Prism nowadays is pretty hard. Those things are fast.
That's true, but also the Immortals are not great against Marines, you know? So I'm wondering... let's see, though. This is kind of an unexpected move here. I don't think Maru
this is not something that we see.
Something like this. So
like, we don't even see this in PvP.
If it catches him off guard, well, not really anymore. If it catches him off guard, it might be very effective, but he has to do a lot of damage before Maru reconfigures his base to be prepared for this.
Well, we'll see how this goes. It's really cool that MyuNgSiK, even though he's not using like his patented sky toss style or air toss style, which is an anagram of Artosis, of course. You know, he's bringing something that we don't really see. This is neat, and in fact, he's actually waiting for this army to move. Notice how his observer saw it leave. Now he goes in. So this is something you normally do with Zealot Warpins, but he's decided to go ahead and do it with Immortals instead.
All right, he's not going to go. That was an interesting pick there, going for the reactor for a second.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to cut down on the production, but if this Warp Prism gets caught with these two Immortals...
Well, it's pretty much... Oh, my God, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, so, I mean, this is the danger, is if you do a strategy like this, and with the Immortal Warp Prism, and you lose that, I mean, there's a very strong chance that a counter push just kills MyuNgSiK. Yeah. I think MyuNgSik's strategy was pretty cool, and had he managed to keep that alive and maybe keep Terran pinned in his base, it would have been a different story, but losing it means almost auto death here, especially with somebody like Maru who's just not going to miss a beat. He's not going to lose any tempo here.
You want your brain to hurt for a second, Tasteless?
Yeah, no,
if MyuNgSiK was top right and Maru was top left, he would have killed the reactor and gotten out.
That's really funny and true. That's one of the things in StarCraft II. Yeah,
it's a funny thing. Maybe this strategy worked a lot from the other position, but here it didn't.
All right.
Whoa.
Substandard force fields.
Yeah, he misses there, and in fact, a nice stim up. Well, wasn't nice. He lost a lot.
He lost more than I expected him to, but he did gun down the Colossi and pick up and move out. Now you got to think of how much Robotech has been reset here, and the fact that the Protoss is very dependent on the Robotech functioning and sustaining, because you can't win with just the Zealots and Stalkers. You need to have these Robo units out, like the Immortals or the Colossi, to do damage. Now, he lost an Immortal, two Immortals, excuse me, a Warp Prism, and then two Colossi. For units on the Terran's end, which are just replenishable, you can losing Marines and Marauders doesn't really mean anything as long as you can remake them. It's totally worth trading those units to get the Robo units.
Yeah, Terran would really rather keep the army sizes low. You know, you get more out of a smaller army with Terran than you do with Protoss. So that was actually, it was quite a nice pick-off for sure. And as you said, the amount of Robo units that he's actually killed, it's a big deal. Units increment very slowly out of a Robo. He's killed 2 Immortals, 2 Colossus, and even a Warp Prism.
Good gutsy move there, trying to see if he can come in and dump the army on his opponent again. Not working. I believe he does have Did we catch us through it? Maybe you mentioned this, Artosis, the Viking up there in the center.
Yeah,
Catching that, yeah. That's a smart move just to keep this entirely under control.
That's going to keep out any War Prisms, that's for sure.
Okay, so we have a little bit of a chase. But with Stim, he is going to be able to get away from here. I feel like Maru's in complete control of this game. He's got the additional base. He's now dropping over here. All he has to do is hold off this attack that's coming up. But I don't think he's got too much in the drop. Oh, but wait, is MyuNgSiK ready?
Well, he warps in quite a few units, but that means less units up at front to actually get any damage done with here. Okay. I don't know what he's going to be able to exactly accomplish with this. I feel like he just doesn't have enough force fields. Maru can spread and get the surface area needed.
And actually losing that Viking, it looks like he wants to get a sandwich here. I don't know. Well, I guess
he throws those Widow Mines, and that's a pretty big deal. The force fields do go down, so his Colossi is still alive.
Actually, the Colossi is still in a good enough position to do some good damage now.
And he actually flanks here with quite a few Stalkers. MyuNgSiK actually dealing with this really, really well.
Yeah, surprisingly well. And now gunning down these Vikings here. It looks like one Colossus is taken out. Oh, better pull back those Stalkers. Those are going to die real quick here.
Well, he warps in a few more,
There's more down there at the bottom.
Yeah, going in for that flank now. Definitely has a few that weren't in that battle as well from that high ground, though. And now he's down to one Colossus again, has no sentries. Kind of a rough situation, I would say. Oh, boy.
All right, now he's getting the Colossus. This is where it just becomes a game of math. I mean, you can see the control here from both sides is actually pretty good, but Maru just has too much.
Yeah.
And overwhelms his opponent. Okay, so let's go back and talk about that game for a little bit. Had the Robo and the Immortals not been lost, it would be a completely different game. But once you lose that, I mean, anybody that understands anything like in theoretical StarCraft, you've lost the game. You should lose the game from there.
That big of an investment that early on, like to get 2 Immortals and a War Prism that early, and then to lose them, killing almost nothing. It's like, yeah, of course, that's going to be a huge disadvantage. That's going to lead to a loss against someone of Maru's stature.
And so, obviously, both players knew this once that happened, but you got to try to play it out and hope that maybe Maru makes some strategic error or control blunder. But this is Maru we're talking about. That didn't happen.
No,
game number 2 here with Maru up with 1 wing is going to be on King Sejong Station.
Very interesting. I'm wondering what the plan is here from MyuNgSiK. I think he's going to go into Stargate play here. I really do. I could see him wanting to go for like a Phoenix Colossus type of composition on this map. It's a very droppable map, and Maru is a very good dropper. So what better way to counter that than with Phoenixes, right?
I think it would definitely be a good move. It would be a great way to punish Maru's greatest strength. I mean, how often do we ever see Maru, even when he doesn't need to, pick up in the dropships?
He's just always in the dropships.
A lot of other Terrans, it looks much better when they don't do that, right? Because the dropships get gunned down a lot. But Maru's normally pretty fast with that. But Phoenixes, he makes a good point. That could definitely catch him, and he might not be able to recover in time. Anyways, let's start game number 2 here with Maru and MyuNgSiK.